So I'm going to learn how to draw myself. Let's get started. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Paula Pasumi and this is part 1 of my journey to become a better artist. Many people think that knowing how to draw is like a talent, but that's far from the truth. It's a skill, which means you have to practice to get better at it. Most artists I know practice for hours. But the difference is that they started when they were little, and we live in a society that we hype children up. A kid can show you like the most ugly drawing, but you will be excited for that kid and you will motivate them to keep drawing. But this excitement is gone when an older person, or especially you, show the same exact drawing. When we start with a new skill, we are like children. It will suck. You're not making Picasso or the most amazing concept art when you just started a drawing. It takes around 10,000 hours to master a skill. And this is the mentality I want to have while I'm doing this journey. It doesn't matter how many times I would like to give up, I need to remind myself that I have to keep going. If you don't do the work, you're not going anywhere. Starting something is usually the most difficult part of a project. So I made it myself extremely easy. I picked something I enjoy drawing, and that's humans. So my dream is to make cool characters and even make a comic. I have to say that drawing humans is one of the most difficult things because we're so used in seeing humans that we can tell immediately when something is off. But I'm a strong believer that you have to do something you're excited about because otherwise you will postpone it and you will never improve. I know myself, if I start with the fundamentals, which are really important by the way, it just means I have to draw a cubic or a circle in all different angles, and I know it won't make me excited, so I probably won't do it. I will start doing them from now on. But I really recommend when you just started, pick something you enjoy. It doesn't matter if it's like humans, animals, flowers, whatever. Just pick something you really enjoy drawing. A wise man once told me that learning how to draw is learning how to see. So you need to learn how to see objects and how to translate that to your paper. This is easier said than done, of course, but it's really important thing to keep in mind. So when you learn how to see in shapes, it gets easier. In this part, I completed 2 sketchbooks and a few digital drawings, so without further ado, let's get into it. Let me start with the first book I finished, and that's this one. I got these really cool stickers from Fuki, which is a Dutch artist. So I bought this sketchbook because I was starting live drawing classes, which you can tell. This was my first live drawing class ever, and like you can see, it sucks. It really sucks, but that's normal when you just started with drawing. It is really hard to draw people, especially because the body can move in so many ways. But it was still really fun to experience, and I went with someone I met in the hostel, and she was so nice, so it was just a really great time. And it was really nice to suck together with someone. So as you can see, there are numbers, so every class we did like 10 poses. Oh I'm wrong, we did more than around 10-12 poses. So as you can see, it starts with 1, which means it's a new day. And I can already tell that this one looks more confident than the first one. Usually the first one are just like 1 till 5 minutes, and the last one are usually 10 minutes. But I don't know if I'm tripping, or maybe because I'm the one that did it. I can tell that I felt more confident with the 12th drawing. So this was day 2. So again, the quick poses. Compared to the first day where I couldn't even finish a quick pose, things went already faster. It still looks like crap, but at least it goes a little bit faster. And this time we had like a male model, if you couldn't tell. I also like this one for the first time. I thought it was really good. And as you can tell, I also started to draw bigger compared to the first time. I think I have this problem that I'm so used to draw small that I always draw small. But I actually heard that it's better to draw bigger because you can focus on details and stuff. I don't know what happened here. So I think this is the 3rd day actually. Oh, I also like this one. Again, a big drawing. This reminds me a little bit of Attack on Titan, just because the proportion are a little bit off, but still nice. And I'm not sure if you can tell, but I mean, I can tell. I feel like the lines are getting more confident. I'm not sure if that's the correct word, but it's just like it feels more organized. I drew this because I just watched the show Wednesday and it was such an amazing show. I really can't wait until they make a second season. I'm really proud of myself because this was the first time I was doing outside the drawing class. If you start to do it in your free time, it's a really good sign. I just realized that I started to try faces, which is quite cool. I actually like this one. I'm really bad at faces, so So I just looked up images online and just drew them, which is also a really great way to practice if you can't afford or can't find live drawing classes. But I have to say it's better to draw in person. And these are some more poses. It's easy to find them on YouTube actually. Just Google like live drawing poses and there are many videos that like give you some inspirations. So I think from here I just started with like drawing from the internet. And sometimes you can't finish a drawing, which is also normal and fine. Trying some clothes. This looks like a Spider-Man pose. And the thing with live drawing classes or drawing poses in general is that it doesn't have to be complicated. It's also just fine to just catch the simple shapes. Because I think that's the important thing about learning how to draw, is like to see complex things in basic shapes. So like you can see, I drew a lot of the same things, in this case poses. And I really recommend this if you want to master something, is to like focus on one thing. So if you want to draw humans, don't focus on everything at once, just pick one topic and focus on it. In this case, I was focusing on like body poses. And just by doing it like over and over again, you will like see improvement. And improvement can be more things, not just how it looks, but also how fast you draw, or like how confident you make your lines. So even though the drawing is not as beautiful as your last drawing, I'm pretty sure there's still improvement going on. I like bow and arrows. And I usually number it because I can see how many poses I drew every day. And even if it's just like one pose, it's completely fine. It's better to draw one pose each day than just drawing like 20 poses on Monday and not doing anything the rest of the week. So yeah, just stay consistent. Oh, she looks like a robot actually. A curvy robot. So this was my first sketchbook. And this one is a little bit thicker. This is a different type of sketchbook. I have to say that I prefer this kind of sketchbook now because you can like lay it flat, and that's not possible with the previous sketchbook. And I'm really sad because I don't know where I bought this sketchbook. I tried to find it because it's a really good sketchbook. The paper is amazing. Right now I bought like another sketchbook, but the paper is so thin and it's not as good as this one. So if you know it, I don't think you do, but if you know where I can buy exactly this sketchbook or like one that looks like it, let me know. So we start with the first drawing. I just went to a restaurant with some friends and we just drew people we saw in public, and I really recommend this exercise. I definitely have to do this again soon. And same for this drawing. And here I start with the fundamentals. So I just drew like a sphere with like some shadows. And here I did some research about like cartoony faces, and at this point I also wanted to experiment with like having a different style, because my problem is that I have so many styles I like that it's hard for me to decide which style I would like to do. But I just decided that I just keep drawing and style will come later. First I want to practice my skill. So here some poses. I made this drawing in a museum actually. With this sketchbook I was living in Leeds. And Leeds had so many creative events. So there was like this event where you could come to a museum, and with a group of people you were just like drawing in a museum. So I made this drawing. I saw like this painting of this man. And I was like, oh, I also need to draw a man with the head. And here it is. And also this was like drawing in public again. I saw this food truck and tried to draw it, but I failed. Here's some random poses. Oh, and I also remember this meetup. So this was like a sketch meetup, and the goal is just to meet with random people again and just draw something you see from the window. Yeah, I really miss Leeds. Leeds had so many great opportunities to learn how to draw. Maybe I miss living in a big city, but hopefully I can change that soon. So again, just drawing in public. I drew this from the internet. Practicing some mouths. And from here I came with the idea to start drawing faces. This is what I told earlier, is that I just had this like playlist on YouTube and I just followed along. So from here it's just faces. So let's get to it. In the description I will make a list with all the YouTubers I followed, so that you can also check them out and maybe find something useful. Oh, I just realized it's not in frame, sorry. Oh, I really like this one too, now I look it back. It's smiling. I don't know if you can tell, but this is Messi and this is Will Smith. I don't know who this is. And like you can see, the quality changes every day. Sometimes I make a good drawing, something a bad drawing, and that's completely normal. And again, drawing faces is like one of the most difficult things to draw. So now I see it back, I'm really proud of the improvement. Oh, I especially like this one, I remember. Sometimes I had like my good days and sometimes I had like my bad days. One thing I really want to practice is like learning how to use shadow. I think later in the sketchbook I try to experiment with shadow a little bit more, but it's definitely something I would like to do more research in. Yeah, there's not much to say. It's just some faces. This is Ariana Grande, if I'm correct. I hope she doesn't see this because it's not really beautiful, but so you know. I also really like this one, I remember. It gives me a little bit of Gorillaz vibe and I like it. I also try to draw different races as well. And from this point I also try to do more simple lines, because like you can see In some drawings I was really working on the details, and this one is just more simple. So like you can see here. I still can't believe that I drew so many faces. I think it's really something I can be proud of. And because I enjoyed it so much, it wasn't that hard to finish the sketchbook. It's a little bit creepy. And it's also fine to not finish your drawing. Just keep it fun. I feel like I improved a lot. But for me, I also improved like in speed. Like in the beginning, it took me so long to draw just like a single head. But now I can do it a lot quicker. And I also feel like a lot more confident. And I also numbered it, and it's like set 132. And yes, again, I'm really proud that I even made it this far. So besides drawing on paper, I also drew like on my iPad. And there's like this website called Sketchy where they do like daily portrait challenge. So what that means is that they have like a video with like a tutorial about drawing a certain portrait, and you follow that along. So I tried this challenge, and unfortunately I didn't really finish this challenge because I noticed that it was really time consuming, because a tutorial took like 1 till 2 hours, and I felt like I wasn't really that motivated to start the challenge because I was like, oh, I have to draw for 2 hours, which made it really hard to get into. Even though I didn't finish the challenge, I still did a few. Yeah, it's something to be proud of. So I also made this one. And drawing on your iPad versus drawing on your paper is really different. So it was also nice to like switch mediums for a bit. I really have to work on my digital game. But that's something I can do in the future. It's not something I worry about now. I also really like this one. I like how colorful it is. The cool thing about color is that you can kind of transform your line art. So for example, with this one, maybe the line art isn't that impressive, but after you color it, then it starts to feel, let me see, Yeah, so there was the line art, like it looks really simple, but when you start like to color it and like shade and everything, it gets more lively, like adding the hairs. Like coloring is so important, I really have to get into it soon. But yes, because I'm a beginner, I focused on getting the line art first, and like coloring is something I can do and learn later. Like I even didn't bother to finish it because it was so difficult. And the last one. And here I really liked how we did her hair. Like it's like with this splash and it looks really cool. So maybe when I go back into digital drawing, I might use this technique again. I really like it. Another project I did was this one. So I'm a huge rugby fan and I decided to draw like a rugby poster with some players, some of my favorite players actually. And I made the sketch in Procreate. So I did other drawing in Fresco. And I'm really excited to learn more about Fresco because Procreate is like with pixels and Fresco is more with vectors. Vector art is something I really enjoy doing. And I feel like I would prefer that over more the digital painting styles. So when I'm better at line art, I'm gonna focus more on Fresco. And I'm planning to redraw this drawing because I wasn't really satisfied because it didn't look like I expected it to look. So when I'm better, I'm gonna redraw this and yeah, I can see my improvement. So this was part 1 of this series. Learning how to draw will be a long journey and I'm ready to take it. Let me know in the comments what you would like to achieve this year and I will see you in the next video. Bye!